All right.
Thank you that you are coming, that you're here. We have today this double anniversary, so 1 year OMAI and the birthday of our president, and so wishing him all the best. I pass on to him.
Thank you, Markus. So I'll be brief in my remarks. I want to welcome all of you today. It's been a year since our last full meeting, and it's great seeing so many of you again. I wish I was sitting here telling you that our profession is back to normal and that the effects of the pandemic are now behind us. Of course, to do that would be oversimplifying the effects and naively looking to a future that's still overwrought with issues, some of which, of course, will be temporary, and others of which will take a bit more time to work through. I guess in life, I've always looked at obstacles not as an end, but as a beginning. Something that at first appears to block us often can present new opportunities. And to that end, many positive accomplishments have taken place over the past year. We've come together as a profession in ways that we only talked about in the past. The communication between managers and between presenters and managers has never been greater. And for the first time, we've set the groundwork for managers to have a seat at the table, so to say, in the future of our profession that we all love so much. Of course, none of this could have been accomplished without the work of our various committees, which you'll hear from in just a little bit, who have worked tirelessly to bring about positive change. One of the first things I wanted to accomplish as president was to bring together all of the national and international associations. First, I was met with skepticism and pushback from certain organizations, but I'm proud to say that we're now having regular conversations with our friends at IAMA, IAA, DACA, REACS, as well as many national and international artist associations that recently have joined. With that being said, I'm looking at the next year in a very positive manner. I think we have a lot to accomplish. We have a lot of groundwork that we have set that will put us on a good path as we move forward. We also have had, which Markus will talk about, some very interesting conversations with our colleagues at all levels of the profession that never happened before through our OMAI talks, which will continue. And Markus, I'm going to let you direct us with the committees of who you would like to have speak first, and talk about what we're working on presently, and maybe if you want to boast a little bit about the accomplishments that you've made over the past year, that would be great as well, because I think it helps people to sort of see, you know, what we've done helps to direct where we're going. So I'm going to turn it over to you, Markus.
Yes, I think it's the importance of this meeting was done to really re-meet with everybody, because as all of you know, we have been very active in all the committees, because of course the committee work, we wanted to present a little bit to you what we were doing, what we are planning to do in the future. But it is very important that we have this contact to all members. So I think it is very important that who is not in one committee knows what the other committees are doing. And there is this constant exchange also in hoping to know all members are really important for us. So we are, as Mitch says, going on into second phase now. Of course, much of our work had to deal with all the compensations and cancellations and all the COVID-related stuff. But thanks to this work, we are now getting into a second and very important phase, and this is the real reason why OMAI is existing. So going on in planning the future, in changing some business rules, in getting on some important tables. So the communications committee already to get in touch with important persons of this business. So as we have done with the OMAI talks, and many of our actions have been of course described in the newsletter. The communications committee under the guidance of Mark and Sarah has sent out to everybody, so you know what we did the last year and what the association has brought forward. But now that's the point when finally, as Mitch said, we are in touch with all the associations, and being in constant touch with them and planning really the future, this brings us to be really powerful. So we are more than 80 members. IAMA has, I don't know, 100 members. The other associations, IA has like 20 opera managers as members. So now we're getting really all these associations together. We are forming, I don't know, I have not counted it really, but I think something about 70% at least of all the opera managers worldwide. So if this is the chance to move on and really to change some rules and to be on the table of all these discussions. But so that's why we're meeting. We're meeting to have some exchange with all the members. So there will be the moment where we really ask you to speak up and to move forward with your ideas and your wishes for the future, so that all the committees can really need some more people, and whatever actions are in mind, we will discuss them and bring them forward. Who do not know exactly who we are and what we have done. So I am together with Sarah, Mark Mazzi, who is here, Barbara, who is back to us, Natalia, and Stephen was a while with us. He should be also present today, but I don't know, maybe it's coming later. Oh no, Stephen is there.
Stephen's
So
there.
we have been very active in the last months in all the communication stuff. So the internal communication. So we're trying really to catch up and to bring to you, to everybody who is not in the committees, to get to know what the committees are doing. So one of these, what Mark's brainchild, the newsletter we have then send out, so that at least once a year, and we try to have this, and to be honest, every 6 months at least, to send out a real newsletter which goes to our members to describe what the work is we're doing. But this newsletter, in a slightly changed way, has sent out also to all the theaters worldwide, so that they are knowing what we are doing. Of course, without describing all detailed actions we have done with opera houses, especially the opera committee, but the rest has been presented. The OMAI talks will go on. So we had the big chance to have some of the most important people in our business talking with us during the pandemic, and there will be some very important new talks also in the future. I can already say that one of the very first talks will be Alexander Ney from Opera in Paris, who has confirmed to be with us. There will be a talk about conservatories and the difference between private and public schools in Europe, in America. There will be a talk focused on composers. So what our role can be as agents in creating new music and bringing up world premieres. So that's first to know. But of course, then there will be, as Mitch said before, we are organizing the first real assembly, which we plan to do by person. Of course, then with a connection, a virtual connection, if somebody is really not able to come. So we're trying to combine. And we have decided in pushing that a little bit backwards towards the end of the season. Our first idea was to do it really at the beginning of next year. Then we said, COVID related, whatever, let's plan it when it should be really over. So as Mitch has anticipated, the big wish is to do it at the beginning of April. Plans to combine our annual meeting maybe with one of the big Opera Europa meetings.
One of the things I've wanted to accomplish this past year was a relationship between managers and houses. And in doing that, we've had a lot of conversations with Opera America, but more importantly with Opera Europa. And I just am, it's not finalized yet, but tentatively, Opera Europa has agreed to have one of their annual meetings in Berlin and to coincide that meeting with our annual conference so that we can have some combined sessions in which managers and houses can actually sit together at the same table, discuss the issues that we're having, and hopefully set the groundwork to come up with some positive changes, whether it's dealing with contractual issues, payments, rehearsals, structures of contracts, any number of things. This will be their business committee that will be there. And so that's an exciting piece of information for us. And I hope to have more information in the next few weeks, which Markus, of course, will get out to everyone.
So this is step by step one of the big goals we are having, to be really on board with the big associations and to be considered as manager as one important part of the future planning. The next OPA Europa is meeting is very much focused also on the future in opera, and I think we all agree that the future of opera, in the discussions on future of opera, we have to be part of. And this is the most important goal for the future OMAI has, absolutely.
Okay, yeah. Hello, everybody. A year later, a few quick updates on the work that Aaron Sanko, Aaron Grant, Gunter Oberwechser, and Tali Calderon and I have been doing on the digital committee. First off, we took a hiatus in the summer, but we're in the process of, amongst ourselves, talking, deciding next steps. I'll talk about it at the end. So we're just activating again for this year, formally. As a quick survey, the major thing we did was a very simple thing. We just came up with the one-page document at the most simple level. What are the key asks? What are the key things that need to be brought into discussion, regardless of the size or scale of the digital project? And that was a collaborative effort, and we brought that forward. I can repost it in the notes. It's been in the newsletter. Very clear, very simple. It centers around intent of the product, use and duration of the product, and artist's right to excerpt and payment, those 5 elements, and many details within that, which was good to do. The other component of our work was, I would say, research-based, some consulting. We talked to people within the digital industry, other companies. So there was a sort of research consultation process. And the other thing that's emerged out of it, and this is where individually, we, in our individual relationships, can bring forward these points and bring them into the dialogue, whether with opera presenters, and in most of our cases, symphonic or orchestral presenters. And we do that individually, incrementally in our way. I think one of the challenges going forward, and Mitch uses a good phrase, obstacles, opportunity, but is to find how now we can work in a more broad manner, how we can communicate this more and get moving towards, Aaron Grant had a good phrase, can we standardize this? And I said, I wish we could. But digital creation is not standard. I mean, as we all know, it varies, scale of company, project, but to get that across. The other thing I'm going to just openly invite, and I'll leave my email in the chat, is I don't know if the committee will reform or have new members. It'll be based on people's time and interest. So we're in the process of that. And I don't mind collating this, but any ideas or thoughts, you could fill my inbox, and I'll don't have any hair left to pull out. But just that would be useful. Anybody in OMAI with whatever creative, pragmatic thought, question, because we're reforming, reassessing how we do this. I think we also recognize too, with exception, the money to be made from digital work is not great. That could change. There may be in time larger scales that we can access funds, but it doesn't negate the point that it's a very good tool for connection to presenters. And I mean education in the best sense of our individual clients, but as a talking point, as an entry point in for what many of the presenters I work with is new territory. It's a great opening, because I've had people say, Graham, I know you're doing this with OMAI. Can you spend a couple hours with me on Zoom and talk me through what this is all about? So again, it's another foothold or way to communicate, and I think that's very useful. So it's information. The other thing I just wanted to mention, building what from Markus was saying, with Catherine Dominy and Marie-Catherine Lapointe, who's joining us today. I haven't seen Kathy yet. In Canada, with our umbrella organization akin to Opera America, the Association for Opera in Canada, October 7th, and we are a small management community, but we are sitting down for the first time with not just the large presenters, but all the presenters in Canada at the table to begin a formal, perhaps quarterly, annually meeting of managers exclusively and the people who hire. And that's a huge step. That's never happened before. So that's, again, a product of OMAI. We bring forth OMAI's, that's what we're doing. So those are quick updates. I'm seeing my notes. Nope, that's it.
I just want to thank Grant. This was perhaps one of the more difficult committees to put together because it really is groundbreaking. It's everything they're doing is new. And during that period, a lot really was accomplished. We had conversations with IAMA, with their business committee, conversations with Deutsche Grammophon about exclusive rights of artists and how does that affect the digital community when you have a Deutsche Grammophon or a Sony artist in a production, and what rights are given to the other artists and what rights go to the companies. So a lot really was done on this. We had media, we had conversations with media companies, with publicity companies, all of which said, one of the great things that came out was they said, well, you guys really are the ones that should be driving this because you're the managers of the artists and this is all new. I mean, we've always had Deutsche Grammophon and big contracts out there for media in the past, but never have we had even small houses streaming to companies. We've had meetings with Opera Europa in which we had disagreements where Nicholas felt like if public theaters were paying you a fee, you should not receive extra for streaming, of which none of us agreed with. But we were able to openly have those discussions. And this is probably the one committee where there really is an opportunity for all of the associations. And that's one thing I will be pushing with Graham over the next year, is that we form a committee with all of the associations to have delegates that talk about digital media moving forward. Because I really agree with the media firm when they said that the managers have a unique position here to drive the conversations going forward with this, regardless of whether you're representing an Anna Netrebko or you're representing a Basilio in a Figaro production. I mean, these, every artist that's in the production is involved in this. And so I want to thank Graham and the committee for all the work they've done. And I think that they've done a great job of creating a framework to move forward with this.
And one of the points that came up at last week's conference in Copenhagen was the danger of too many parallel conversations. So the more we can speak with one voice, the better it'll be and the less time will be wasted, of which we don't have indefinite quantities. So thank you for that initiative.
And Helen, I agree. I think as we continue the discussion today, that one voice, the way to coordinate that is really essential in our work. So I echo that entirely.
Thank you.
Thank you. So can we jump on to Dari? Yes, as Dari just arrived, I would also pass on her then in presenting a little bit quickly who the Opera Committee is and what the past action of the Opera Committee has been and how to recruit new people in being active with the Opera Committee.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm sorry if you hear other sounds. I'm in a cafe trying to participate in the meeting, and maybe I have missed some of the part of the conversation in the beginning. In any case, I want to thank you, all the members, for joining the organization. This is a big step in the development of our profession. And I also want to thank Mitch, our president, for his dedication and the incredible volume of work he has done. In many meetings, I was witness of his extremely good diplomatic approach and a respectful way of communication with others, which is very inspiring, I think, not only for me, but for many other people. And happy birthday, Mitch. I don't know if they sang already a
Thank you.
birthday song for you. And of course, I want to thank all the board members and the colleagues which I meet regularly in our opera committee for their work and for their time. In the beginning, we met every week, and now we are meeting once in 2 weeks, but it's still quite a volume of time which one is spending for the best for all of us. I think that there is no introduction needed of the members of the opera committee. I think their names were in the mailing Sarah sent around. Most of the colleagues know each other already, so maybe I should continue with the rest of my topics. I don't want to spend too much time talking about our achievements, since you all have been regularly informed. At this point, I want to thank Sarah for her time and commitment with this task as well, because she also spent a lot of time of creating the notes and informing everyone via email. Maybe it's still worth mentioning the Royal Opera House, Covent Garden, and Düsseldorf, Dresden, and Frankfurt, where we had quite good results. We were less successful in Zurich, where the Betriebsdirektor, Mr. Berner, continuously answered our emails that he is struggling with a force majeure situation. Budapest never got back to us, and Chile was trying to explain us their difficulties. Still, being a young organization, we have to be very careful when we dedicate to undertake something and how we do it. And like a very experienced colleague of us says, we have to choose our battles. That means that we cannot allow ourselves just to send random angry letters to random houses. We have really careful to think about our actions, and we need a sensitive approach and constant networking, as it has been mentioned in the last minutes when I joined, and promoting our organization towards the producers, which every one of us can do in his private meetings as well. We need more help. We need more heads thinking, more colleagues who are ready to donate a couple of hours of their time. It would be very useful if any new colleagues decide also to join. We have the opera committee, the big committee, which is meeting every second Wednesday, 4 p.m. for Europe and 10 a.m. for America. And the meeting takes 1 hour. So the regular agenda includes the updates from the various regions, specific issues we want to discuss, whether we address them or not. And we have also built some subcommittees that are responsible for specific regions, so that we can refer to them for very specific questions and use their know-how in that situations. We have been discussing our goals for the season in the last meeting, and this will be again addressing specific issues to initiate new actions and to coordinate actions between members and the other organizations towards the houses. So very specifically, I once again would like to invite you to join. You can decide to join a specific meeting just to understand how is it going and what are we discussing, who we are. And also you can decide, for example, just to let me know if you would like to dedicate a couple of hours of your time, and then we will find a moment and a specific maybe it's issue, or depending on the region where we're based, we could see if we can be helpful for each other.
Thanks,
So,
Dar.
this is for the moment.
If I can just add one little point, I think
Yes,
what you
please.
said at the end, the subcommittees is very important, so that we have really divided the world a little bit in people. They are in certain regions, and they are in constant touch with the regional associations. So as the French association is, or the Italian, or the Scandinavian, or the German association. So I think it is very important that also whatever question you might have towards some clauses in contracts, doubts on some behaviors of some theaters, just reach out to the opera committees or directly to the subcommittees in getting in touch, because it is very important that the information passes. So we try to be in touch as much as possible with the regional associations in order to coordinate what they are doing, so that that we avoid problems like the French association had in the past, that all the French agents tried to convince the artists not signing some contracts due to some terrible clauses, and then all other international agents signed these contracts, so we lose power. So in this connection, and as Helen said before, being in touch with the other association, this helps us really to be powerful, because if then 80% of the agents are not signing a contract due to some clauses, then there's really the wish to change something if we get to that.
Yeah, one of the things we have tried to stress, and we've been much more successful with it as we've moved through this past year, is that we do recognize the national associations in France, in Germany, in Italy, and we always try to go first to those associations for advice, for input, before reaching out directly to companies. And then hopefully we are able to do this in unison with them by co-signing letters. One of the latest was Dominique Rivera, who's a member of ours, but also is the president of the French Association. We had a very successful meeting with the heads of all of the associations dealing with Lyon and then Opera de Paris. And I think came to some really good conclusions and some good solutions, hopefully, in getting really what is going to be equivalent pay for all artists as these contracts are canceled, and also future considerations. But we did that with DACA, with IAMA, with Audiax, with all of the associations together. And so this is the goal. But I would be remiss if I did not thank Dari. You've done an amazing job with this opera committee. You have tirelessly worked, and I know it ended up being a lot more work than I think you thought it was going to be at the beginning. But then Sarah, Markus, so many of you have stepped up. Sarah is involved in so many of the committees and has worked tirelessly with really informing all of you, the members, and with all the filming that she's done. And Markus, with all the work you did with the communications committee. The OMAI talks were really my highlight of the year. They were really fabulous to sit and listen to, and they covered every aspect of the profession. And then you know, Graham also with the digital. I mean, I don't think we could have asked for a better group of people to put this together this year. And all of you have worked just extremely hard. Mark, and the work that you've done with me in dealing with Opera Europa, and Natalia and all the communications. And like you said, Markus, we're thrilled to see Barbara back on the call. So welcome back, Barbara. I don't think Sam is here, but I can briefly give you a membership update. As Markus said, we're up to almost 80 members, which I think makes us probably the largest association for only dealing with opera managers. I will say what I said in the first year. It's not essential that you belong to OMAI, but it's essential that you belong to something. It's really important that our colleagues are part of something. whether it's the North American group, whether it's the French group, one of the national associations. This is how we're going to continue to make progress, is by joining forces, by really, and it's not a war, but it's something that we have to speak as one voice. We can have our disagreements. God knows we've had many disagreements throughout this year, but it's working through those disagreements that will allow us to come to some type of fruition. And as we move forward, I hope that more of you will become involved in the committees. Markus, I know, I think I can speak for you and Sarah, saying that you need more help on the communications committee, especially as we go into our first annual conference. We'd like to put together a conference committee, and that there's specific help we're going to need with that, because we probably will still be living in a world where the conference is going to have to be digital and live. And those expertise are things that we can certainly use help with. The opera committee, we've just made the scratch at the surface of this, but now we really have to dig in with the opera committee over the next year and really come up with solutions so that the next time this comes around, we don't go through the hell that we've gone through for the past year in dealing with contracts. We need better communication with the houses, and that we've really made great breakthroughs with, but that work continues. So I hope that all of you can get more involved. Some of you I just lean on because I've known for so many years for advice, and you know who you are, and I thank you for that advice. There's several managers here that I've reached out to for years. I'll continue to reach out to because of my great respect for you. And I thank all of you for the work that you've done. Markus, I don't know if you have more as far as committee reports. I think we've covered them.
I think we have just covered it, but I think Sarah wanted to speak up for a second.
Yes, thank you. I just wanted to briefly say, in many ways, for me, at least personally, this organization has exceeded my expectations. When we first scrambled to come together a year ago and were trying to figure out how to handle the COVID situation and the devastating effect that it's had on the performing arts, on our artists and our businesses, I just think we've done a really amazing job. I want to also thank personally Dari for the opera work, because that's the core of who we are as artist managers, is what she's dealing with. And I think it's amazing what you've done in your weekly meetings. And I also want to commend Mitch. I know Dari already said this, and forgive the repetition, but I feel really strongly about this. One of the greatest accomplishments that we've made this year is the collaboration with the other organizations. So we're not just speaking with our one voice, we're speaking in collaboration with the other organizations to really reach another level. So that's something that we can only expand upon in this next year. And so I think that's incredibly commendable. And I thank both of you for that. And I think Markus has done a fabulous job on the communications committee. We've struggled with how to communicate with everyone, in what form, in emails, in newsletters, in the videos. I think we've covered a lot of ground, and I hope that we have been able to reach out to everyone. Maybe that's a topic of conversation for this group now. But we're there, and we're doing our best to communicate with our members and to solicit other organizations and other artist managers to join us. So again, this organization has exceeded my expectations, and I want to thank all my colleagues. I also wanted to say one more thing, and we have in many ways Dari, but also Mitch to thank for, is the tone, I want to say, and the attitude that we've had of inclusion and openness and transparency, which is for me one of the reasons why I joined, because it was finally possible to do that amongst each other, and I really value that, and I hope we can continue to do that going forward. Those are my 2 cents worth. Thank you.
I totally agree with Sarah. So really, thank you for what you have said. I jump in quickly on the communication. So after 1 year, we have, of course, often discussed a little bit how we organize our internal communication, and which is still, let's say, one of the most difficult goals. So after some months that we have tried to bring everybody on Teams, we have seen that our global membership is not really interested in going on Teams. And so only like 20% connected. And so we have cut off this option, and it's saying because it's we're spending quite a lot of money on all these Teams accounts. So the Teams, what we have also communicated to everybody in the last newsletter, is not working anymore. So if you have not signed up, you don't need to sign up at that point, because it doesn't make sense. So I think the major communication will be, of course, through email. So just drop us a line whenever you wish, and there's no problem with that. And we are working still on a private section of the homepage, so that we can put all our documents and all the videos and documents and recordings we had on Teams. They will now be put on the homepage in a private section, but we will communicate this. The last question is still on the WhatsApp group, which, of course, let's say it's something informal. So of course we use that for birthday wishes and for urgent communications. So we wanted to discuss this here also in this group, how we wish, or how the majority wish to use that, as there was some discussion on should we put on also some extreme last minute call, jump in questions, if the promoter is fine with that we put it out to other colleagues. Maybe we can have an open discussion if the interest is there. But okay, the normal official and professional communication will be by email, which is, I think, the most easiest way. Marie-Catherine.
Yes, thank you. Hello, everybody. I think you just addressed my question, because I think there's lots of communication on WhatsApp, and not everybody's on WhatsApp. And yes, it's like two channels, so it's hard to bring them together. I don't know if there's a way of having that communicating together. I don't know how I can explain that, but having one common channel.
We're still working on this, and you know, I mean, I laugh. I mean, the average age of artist managers, most of us probably don't need another technical thing in our, or digital thing in our lives to have to learn how to use. But WhatsApp seems to work because it's free, and anybody that has a mobile phone can join the groups. There's no cost for it. The problem we were having with Teams is that Teams is probably the finest app I've seen for what we would need, but it's very expensive. It's thousands of euros a year, and 80% of the members were not joining, I think, and many of the responses were, I don't need another way to communicate. So I think we've decided for now that we're going to use, you know, our basic email accounts that we all have. Those are on the website. We've shared them with all the members, and maybe it would help Markus to do an updated members communication page, and to get that out to everybody so they have the updates with email addresses. And we'll continue to use WhatsApp. And then in the meantime, we're totally open to suggestions if people have other ways. I know with our friends at OMAI, we use Trello, and Trello seems to be a good way of communicating. They have the same issues that we do. Their members don't log in and fill in the reports and fill in the updates. So the nice thing about Trello is we share a Trello with IAMA and with OMAI right now. So that could be a way in the future that we move towards communication of updates. The issue with whether WhatsApp should have business things added to it, I think we came to the conclusion that if managers feel that the houses are comfortable with them putting out that they've had a cancellation, then I don't see anything wrong with doing that. We've done that for decades amongst ourselves, It's just that we're now a larger group. I mean, I can understand that some houses, if they just lost a Tomino, do not want 50 emails from all the OMAI managers with suggestions, but other houses welcome that. So I think the managers have to use their best knowledge of whether the houses are comfortable with them providing that information. But I agree with you, Maria Catherine, we need to find one way of communicating, and we have not accomplished that yet.
Just a question. So you're saying actually there are people who do not use WhatsApp? Is that possible?
We have one on our call right now that doesn't.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I think more and more colleagues are using Signal now. Is this an opportunity now? Okay.
No.
Forget it.
No, because I mean, I know that was because of the worries about WhatsApp's privacy, but I think that it's kind of not a problem anymore, if I understand correctly. But yeah, no.
The question is, I totally agree that email is very professional, but of course, if you start then the comment on emails, then you get one topic like 50 emails, and this is then really getting a little bit of problem. So of course, if there's important conversations and wishes and like we do in our business, so whatever we do also in our business, we send by email. It's a clear email with a confirmation, a proposal, whatever. But if we have to then talk, we do it by phone, or we do it in some other way. So that's why the WhatsApp group was for exchange opinions in a rapid and easy way without being really, I would say, official. But that's, if there is an alternative, as the Trello could be, for example, then we use this alternative. But it's really important that to get some opinions on that. Günther is wanting to speak up.
One very good messenger is Telegram. I guess many people already use it. It has much more features than what I'd like to propose, something very concrete. I would like to propose on my yearly audition, during which we introduce our young unknown singers.
Oh. I think that's something, you're breaking up in and out, Günther, but if I got it correctly, I think the singers is an interesting concept, and whether this is done digitally or live. If it was done live, it would probably need to tie in with our annual conference. But I think obviously we could do something digitally as well, which would be an audition that OMAI would host for the houses. It's an interesting concept, and I would say that the communications committee should probably think about that, and then eventually combine that with the opera committee for discussion.
But I think
there are a lot of young. I know Ken and I have talked about this. There are a lot of young singers in this past 2 years that are sort of being left behind, and as someone who has a foundation that supports young singers, it's a big concern of mine that we are going to have a generation of singers that just get shut out of the profession. So I would be all in favor of something like that. Tomas, you have something to say.
Hello, everybody, once again, Mitch, happy birthday. So I have the question to Dari. Dari, you mentioned that this meeting of committees are every second Wednesday. So then the next meeting, as I think, would be in the middle of October. So I would be very happy to join and to enter this opera committee as well. So please, I will be in touch with you, but I understand that the next meeting will be in October.
Yes, it will be exactly on the 6th of October. I will contact you, Tomas.
Okay.
Maybe I will send you my email, but you can find my email address on the website. Let's be in touch via email.
Okay,
Great. Thank you.
Yes, is my mute on?
No, you're good. We can hear you.
Okay. It's great to see everybody. And I just wanted to ask one question because I don't have the login information to get into the members area, or at least what I thought was saved. It's not working. So I wonder how if you've sent a new newsletter or the latest from the opera committee with, you mentioned all these things with Frankfurt and Royal Opera House. I used to get these emails, but if there's a place in the website where I can access this information, because I don't get the emails anymore, I don't know, whatever emails you sent to members, where can I get the latest information on what's happening with that OMAI has been able to succeed in getting done with certain opera companies, so I know what to watch out for with contracts.
Filippo, the thing is, we still need to put them on the website news section. So they are still on Teams. So if you have still the Teams account, you will still find all these documents on Teams. We just have not have the time to move it and to really create these new accounts.
Okay.
But I can send out what letters there are. So Dari and me, we can just see what you're missing and send it out. It's strange that you don't get.
I just Filippo, we are not so far. I mean, in the beginning of this season, we just had one meeting. So I think you have missed nothing for now. We are just set up our goals and we had no action so far. So if you feel that you have a specific question, get back to me. We can discuss it, or just drop me an email and we'll be in touch. But for now, there is nothing you have missed. So
is there login
don't worry.
information? Well,
No.
I don't have Teams.
No,
so
nobody has.
nobody has login for the members. Okay.
And nobody has Teams.
No, yeah, I don't have Teams. So that's why I just wanted to ask if there's anything new. So just please let us know when we can go into and find all the latest in the website, whether it's a newsletter or the news from the Operas Committee. Thank you very much.
Well, hello, hi to everybody. No, I was just to insist a little bit on what Mitch and Mitch said in the name of all of us. We would like to open a little bit more our committees to newcomers, let's say, because it is creative but very demanding, and we need, I would say, new forces, new ideas, new members who could dedicate a little bit more time to the association and to reach our goals. You would be integrating committees who are working. So we are now we have our rhythm and it's working, but with a little bit more members, we would be probably a little bit more efficient, and we would be able to divide a little bit more the work that it's quite heavy for everybody. And principally for Mitch, who is the president, but we all know what we are doing in this association, and it's quite demanding. We have the results that we never hoped to have, but we have to push to go ahead, and this speed and this effort has to be continued with new forces. So don't hesitate to take to call one of us, one of the committee directors, to say, I would like to integrate this committee. I could bring my knowledge to this one. I would be happy to help even very punctually for the annual conference for any topics, but please don't be aware to contact us. That's what I wanted to say.
Mark, Dari, I would be also happy to join the opera committee. I'm just traveling. I'm starting on Sunday. I'm having a 5-week travel trip, epic European tour coming to a city next to you. But after that, I'll be really happy to join.
Thank you, Guy.
Yeah.
we are all very busy and sometimes people cannot attend, and it's like it is, but there is always a fast group or other colleagues who can attend and they can contribute, and we keep so the variety of people, and
Right.
it's
Right.
fun.
Yeah, no, that's great. I just thought, for example, on the 6th of October at 4 p.m., I'm not going to be available because I'll be in a meeting, but I would love to, but let's be in touch. Okay.
That's why also we need now some new members, because everybody is traveling. So we will not be all together sitting at home and doing our meetings. So Mark is in Nice in this moment, for example, in a hotel room, and then Darius in a, so everybody is moving around finally. But this means also that we at much more people we are, the better it is. So if one is in a meeting, the other can work.
And we will get the website worked out. You know, this first year, everything was done by volunteers. And I think we've realized that where we need to have people hired to do things, we will start doing that now. And so the website simply needs to have a very, very simple members page that for some reason, the platform we were on is not easy to create the login. So we will get that redone. I'm a member of IAMA, and it's very simple. We just log in with your username and password, and it takes you to the members pages. There we upload all of the minutes of the meetings. We upload information about the conference. You can register for things. So we'll get all of this done within the next month here. And, you know, we apologize. We thought the Teams was going to work out, but it did not, unfortunately. So anyway. So are we good? Marcus, Sarah?
Yes,
Sorry.
so if there is no request, let's say, one of these, the reasons, as I said before, of this meeting was really to reach out to all members and to understand what specific wishes and ideas on the next.
No, I'm just saying, just to second Mitch, and I think maybe you guys, obviously people want our opinions, but I think it's a great idea that we can share information such as last minute cancellations, etc. I think we're all colleagues, we're all here to help each other, and I was actually quite puzzled by the by the person who says, oh, that's not appropriate, or I don't understand that, but I think that we all are in the same boat, and sometimes we are the people who give good information, sometimes we are people who get good information. This is what it's about. We're all here to help each other. So I think it's a wonderful thing that we can very quickly ask such a question of 20, 30, 40, 50 people who can help and give good information. So I think that's it.
And the other thing that the WhatsApp I find is good for, it's been great to have people connect with each other as they're traveling. We have a lot of friends that we didn't have 18 months ago. And so as you're doing your travels around the world, seeing artists, let people know, get together, have coffee, share a dinner. I mean, this is how a lot of our work gets done. And so that's another positive aspect of it as well. Okay, well, thank you, everyone. We will be in touch, and it's great seeing all of you, and safe travels for those of you that are traveling. And we look forward to the next few conversations, and Marcus will be in touch about the first OMAI talks.
Absolutely.
Great.
Thank you. Thanks for everybody joining.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
E abbiamo senza schiamarsi, dica ognuno vedi par, dica ognuno vedi par.
Un impegno nuziale a costui con me contratto e pretendo che il contratto debba me effettuare. Come?
Allora, silenzio, silenzio, silenzio. Io son qui per giudicar. Io da lei sceltavo capo venga a far le sue difese, le legittime pretese io vi vengo a palesare. Silenzio, silenzio, silenzio. Io son qui per giudicar.